guys, welcome to Unqualified Experts, the show where we try to help the internet with their most comical and outlandish questions. Today, we have the better Basile joining us. Jenna!
That's me. Hey guys, how are you? I'm so excited to be back, and I love doing the show. It is so entertaining, both on our end and your guys' end, to see what your questions are.
Nick just came in and flipped me off for saying the better Basile. Well, look, it's hard to argue with. Everybody loves Jenna. Everybody loves you on the show, and we love having you. It's so fun.
Love it, love it. Thank you guys so much, and I love all of your DMs that you guys send me. I get so many messages and follows, and just everyone is so sweet to me, so I really appreciate it. I notice all of you guys from the show. Thank you so much.
You guys are such gems. Oh my God, I love the fan base here. They're so fucking awesome. We're gonna jump right in, guys. We're doing my girlfriend insulted my dad's job. So that's already off to a bad start.
Girlfriend.
So I know. So my girlfriend and I were talking for plans on college about our jobs, and I told her I don't want to be a doctor like her, and she started assuming I would work a low job, or as she likes to call it, teachers or police and stuff. This is written so terribly. None of what he's saying. I get what he's saying, but the way it's written makes no sense. She then told me she wants to do a professional job, or doctors and lawyers, as she likes to call it. And if I don't, she told me we will break up because I'm shameful to her. Context for the part, my dad works in another country. Okay, this might not be an English-speaking country. That's why it's a little...
Okay.
That makes sense. English might not be his first language. She told me, what if I want to be like my dad and work in another country? She told me if I work like that, she doesn't want it. She doesn't want others to know, and it's shameful to work like that. Then I got offended and started breaking down because my dad works outside the country, and it's hard for her to just say those really... It's hard, and for her to just say all that really hurtful things. She started saying ew and stuff, and I just got really quiet, and she was just stating and she said she was just stating facts and stuff, and then I'm really offended. Wow, I don't think English is his first language.
Yeah, definitely not. That's okay.
No, it's fine.
That's okay.
I'm like trying to jumble through it. And she apologized, saying she doesn't like that kind of work, but the way she said it, I can't take it. It's like an insult to my dad. She told me then to move on and don't get offended. She then got mad after I still haven't moved on and told me we should break up. I'm just a distraction to studies. She told me I'm hard to deal with and stuff. She told me we should have broken up months ago so she would be free, as she likes to put it. She told me I was destroying the relationship and then questioned herself why she dated me and stuff. It's all right that she doesn't want to partner me or have a job like that, but the way she said it, I can't take. She is bringing down the job of others to glorify her doctor dream. The way she says it was like an insult. I can't take it. Edit, she told me in the world we lived in, people who work low jobs are shamed. She doesn't want to be like them, and she said she wanted me to get a high job and doesn't want the people around her judging her because of me. Wow.
Well, I think
that's a lot to unpack.
For one, you've answered your own question that there's a breakup that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Sounds like she's just mean and insecure, honestly, on what everyone thinks about her.
Yeah.
Don't people who do like garbage and maintenance and stuff make more money than half the high and have better benefits and things?
They do. Often they get paid really well.
Yeah.
First of all, and second of all, who do they expect, these fucking people who get on their high horse, who do they expect is going to do the jobs
like underneath
that make the world work?
I was like, going to bring that point up.
Like, that's what I can never understand. Yeah. I see that a lot where people look down on, you're right, on these like low skilled jobs, whatever it is, whether it's a fast food worker or a garbage person or whatever it is. It's like, we actually need those jobs for a functioning society. What do you think is going to happen if we don't have that?
And who's going to throw the tantrum, i.e. her, when she's sitting there, she just gets off of a night shift and she's hungry and she just goes, oh, I'm just going to get some french fries at McDonald's. And there's no low people to do that.
To do that for her. Yeah, exactly. And look, eventually there are a lot of jobs, lower skilled jobs, that will be replaced by robots, but certainly not all of them.
Not all of them.
And it's also just a shitty thing because they're still providing, we don't have the robots yet. They're still providing you a service that you're using and you want, but you're looking down on those people. It's just a gross outlook to have.
That is. We do not approve of her. I don't think any other girl would approve of her.
No, that's trash.
That just sounds like you need someone to support you. And if this girl is bringing out the negative side of you, and not negative side, but in the sense that made you uncomfortable, that made you just hate the way she said it, and clearly enough. You didn't like it enough that you came here and now you're asking questions about it.
Yep.
So that shows that there is an issue, and you don't need that.
No.
Especially in a time of going to college, figuring out what you want to do, and look, every job's also a stepping stone. And even if it's not a stepping stone, what is the big deal? If you are happy, it should not matter. And as a significant other, I mean, I just feel like if my boyfriend came to me and said, I want to do, I don't know, nonprofit organizations, whatever, I'm making absolutely dirt money, but I get to see him wake up every day and be happy to work and like thrilled to live, that's all I can ask for as a significant other.
Yeah.
You know, we'll make the finances work as he's happy. Who cares?
Well, and there's things that you can do to sort of offset that. Like if you're working a job you love and you're like, you know what, let me do a little side hustle to earn some extra money to make sure that we're able to pay our bills and do the things because I understand that's important too. It sucks to struggle as someone who struggles. It sucks. It's not fun. I understand that. You don't want to, you know, be working a job for the rest of your life where you're like, holy shit, I can't even make my mortgage payments.
Yeah.
So that's understandable, but that's also a different conversation of like, hey, maybe we should pay more for certain jobs. I'm not saying every job should make a ton of money before people are like, well, I'm like, no, I understand. There are certain jobs, they are lower skilled jobs. You shouldn't be making the money of a doctor, obviously. But, you know, you should be able to rent an apartment. You know, those jobs need to be done too. And it can't all be done by high school workers.
Cancel her. We don't like her.
We don't like her. She sucks. So
bad.
basically my only advice to him though is because he's saying, I understand that she wants to break up, which good. Move on. Yeah, I think you're done with her.
Not worth it.
I think that the hard part though is that he's like, I can't get over it. She's, you know, I can't take it. I think you're kind of just going to have to. It's going to go away after a little bit. I think if you cut ties with her, that will help. Don't talk to her anymore because she's obviously a trash person.
Yeah. And here's the other thing too. Nothing of what you want to do or what your father does or anything is bad or low or anything.
No.
You know, everyone's making a living for themselves. Mm-hmm. And if your father we obviously don't know what he does, but he sticks with his job, that's his life. Yeah. If you do the same thing as he, or if you do same thing, working at McDonald's and you use it as a stepping stone or whatever the case is, who cares? Yeah. It doesn't matter.
No, as long as you're working and you're trying and you're helping to provide, like, I don't see an issue.
Here's the thing. We're also two girls who just told you that we need good people in the world and it shouldn't matter as long as you're happy. So know that there's also good in the world, that people don't view that as negative. So try to focus on that there's so many people who view any job as a positive job because any job place you are trying to better yourself. Yep. So there are people out there that think any job you do is great.
Yes, that is true. So don't stress about it. Forget her. Just fuck her and move on. But don't actually fuck her.
Yeah, we said cancel.
Get rid of her. Oh my God, I'm having the craziest allergies. One side of my nose just all of a sudden starts itching and leaking. This is going to be fun. Hey, producer Nick, is there any way we can get some tissues in here? Sorry, everyone. This is going to be gross. Thank you. Wow.
That was quick. Oh, he ran.
He was like, tissues?
He was waiting for this.
Dude, he's amazing. Whenever I'm doing like any other thing too, if I'm doing a live stream with someone or like a live podcast or a podcast, even just recording a podcast, if I'm talking about something and can't remember what the thing is that I'm talking about, which is very often, my brain is so stupid. Or I'm like, you know, the thing went to and I can't remember the name of it because it's just not the way my brain works. He'll send me a message of whatever the thing is I'm talking about.
He's so attentive.
He is so attentive. So it's incredible. Okay. Oh, thank you. Now I have tissues. Sorry, guys. Moving on. I'm a 24-year-old female and have been seeing someone who I thought was a 26-year-old male. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
We have a lot of common interests and have been having a lot of fun together, like going on dates and such. He lives at home, dresses, acts, and looks like someone in their late 20s. Well, I got bored one night and decided to stalk his Facebook pretty hard. Standard. Okay. Girls and guys do that. I found pictures of him holding beers posted in a year where we would have been like 13 years old, looking like a full legal adult. Uh-oh. Oh. After I Googled his name and background, search websites said he was either 32, 36, or 41. Looking back now, I can see the age on his face better. Obviously, I'm not going to keep seeing this guy, and I'm pretty freaked out by this manipulation. I think he might have had some sort of sex addiction as I looked at his Instagram following, and it was all sex workers. So my question is, what do I do? Do I confront him about the lie and see what his excuse is, or do I just ghost him? Edit, he specifically told me he was 26. Also, for people wondering how he can pass as much younger, he's Asian and goes to the gym every day. LOL.
Yeah, no, they age beautifully.
They really do.
Beautifully.
It's true. You see and you're like, how are you 40? You look like you're 20. Like, it's crazy.
Same thing with black ethnicity or any darker skin
Any
tone,
darker skin.
gorgeous.
I know.
Gorgeous.
Bunch of white
They have
people over here wrinkling like a
flawless skin.
fucking
I know,
raisin.
I know. I'm
like,
23 and I'm like my eyes. And then you look at someone who's like African, they're 50. I'm like, oh, aren't you, maybe 30 at most?
yeah, it's ridiculous.
You guys are beautiful.
Or like
Beautiful.
Jennifer Lopez. Look, I know that she has money. She has an obscene amount of money. That's obviously a huge part of it. But goodness gracious.
Flawless.
The woman is
People are
50
flawless.
something. Like, what is happening?
I'm jealous of your beautiful skin.
Oh, I know. I pay a bunch of money to fucking get my skin fixed and taken care of. I honestly would confront him. I would just confront him with the lie, right? And be like, dude, why would you lie to me about your age?
Here's the other thing too. I know, anyone who's actually very selfish, they don't actually care about other people's feelings. But with that being said, I feel like if you go to him and say, look, I found this stuff out, just be honest with me and just do it as a typical conversation so he actually can feel like he's in a safe spot and open up. Maybe he will open up, and not about the sex workers or whatever else, but just say like, yeah, this is my age and I'm just really into you or yada yada. You can explain to him as someone who is younger saying, I just want to let you know, like, you've made me feel very uncomfortable and very not trusting in the future. And I just want to, like, let you know and how your actions have impacted me, impact my comfort levels, and will now impact all relationships going forward. So I understand maybe if you thought I was great and all, but not being truthful can seriously affect a person's life. And I feel like if you have a sit-down conversation like that, not like a, you did this, you did that, you're crazy, because people, if you come to me, I'm just like, oh, F off, like, I don't care, whatever. Or not me, but I'm saying someone might do that. But if you actually have a sit down where you genuinely go, hey, I care about you as a person and we've had so much fun together and I just want to talk to you like human to human. People really resonate with that so much better. You know?
They would respond to that well, I think. Yeah, I think that's a fair point of just being like, hey, look, I want you to know that really hurt me, the fact that you lied to me, and also just going forward, I would like you to know that this is not something that's going to end well for you. Like, that's a good, like...
And that's what I'm saying, because if he's doing this to you, is he also doing this to a bunch of other younger people? So that's my concern is he's, doing this to other people. So that's why I was going at it from that angle. And
I think this could easily come from a place of insecurity about getting older, the fact that he dresses younger and he tries to act like he's younger. He's got that. I've seen this happens to a lot of guys and girls too. You see 40-year-old women shopping at Forever 21 and you're like, lady, this is not for you.
Oh, they're trying to bring the low-waisted jeans back and the glittery belts. And
I don't like super high-waisted jeans, but I also don't like the low-waisted jeans. There's like a nice mid-rise middle ground that flatters figures. Like super low-waisted jeans only works for like insanely skinny supermodels that are like their waist goes in and they're
big.
Yeah, it does not work for most women, and it does not work for like if you have a little gut here, if you have some love handles, it looks rough. That was not a good time. I feel like there's a medium in there where you're like, cool.
Because obviously I was a kid when low-waisted jeans were really in. So I used to only wear men's clothing, and I would wear men's shorts and stuff. Well, also I was a total tomboy.
Same.
Like total tomboy.
Yeah.
One of the things, I know people might get offended if I say this, but I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just trying to put it into point of comparison. Is obviously now we have people that are transgender and transition and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So back then it was not a thing. Being transgender or, switching genders or anything, that was not a thing.
It wasn't as prevalent. It wasn't open.
I was so boy. I mean, I didn't have short hair or anything, but I was just everything about me, all the toys I played with, all the people I hung out with, it was just guys.
Yeah.
Everything. So some people at that age might say, like,
you're transgender.
Or something is, maybe they're exploring their identity. I mean, obviously I'm a full-blown female, but I'm saying that was the point of comparison. Is back then, I think people would have, if transgender was a thing, I think people would have questioned me.
I can see that. Because they do that now, and it's like this weird thing of like, dude, they're a kid. They're going to figure it out. They'll figure it out by the time they're an adult. Let them just do their thing. Like, I would never tell my kid what they could and couldn't wear. Like, I'd be like, if you want to dress whatever makes you comfortable, as long as it's obviously not too revealing. That's a different story. But I mean, in general, that
was my thing to cover low-waisted jeans, because I would wear female jeans. I would always wear men's shorts. I would wear the plaid men's shorts that go like right here or sometimes right here. And they were just like the boxy things you see in the 2000s. That was like my wardrobe.
So, wow, we're very similar.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
Long t-shirts, like
I didn't do that.
Long t-shirts to cover up any like jeans or anything I wore.
That's so funny. I didn't have that. I would wear, though, a lot of times either, I would steal ex-boyfriends or boyfriends' shorts. Right. I had this army pair that I remember stealing that were down to like, below the knee, but they were these army, and I would wear them with like small tops. Or baggy Dickies pants was like a big, when I was in high school, I was wearing baggy Dickies pants a lot. My hair was black. Oh my God. I got to find some of those photos. But yeah, I don't think, let's not bring that back. I forgot what we were even talking about here. Oh yeah.
The guy?
Trying to stay young. It sounds like he's trying to stay young and having a hard time maybe aging.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's not okay to lie, and it's not okay to manipulate your partner. That's a huge red flag, because if he's lying to you about that, who knows what else he's lying about.
I was going to say, this man can have a whole different identity, so that
you
could
don't
be
know.
Dangerous.
Yeah, so that could be sketchy. I would definitely say remove yourself from the relationship. That's kind of an unforgivable. That's a big lie.
Oh, yeah. That's huge.
That's not cool.
That's huge.
And it's not like by a couple of years where they're like, I'm 28, and really they're 30, because they're like,
right, understandable, but that one's a big jump.
That's a big jump. And also the fact that he follows sex workers and only sex workers, I can see also, I mean, even as a sex worker, I can see that as a little bit of a red flag of like, does he have an addiction? Because I think that there's a place for it in healthy sexual relationships. There's a place for it if you're consuming it in a responsible manner. But just like with anything, addiction exists, whether it's alcohol, food, drugs, whatever it is. It's the same thing with porn. And there is definitely, when there are addictions, it can be detrimental to a relationship. So that's something
100%.
that you just be cognitive of moving forward. I don't think there's anything wrong with like following a sex worker at all, but it's just interesting that that's all he follows, and you're like,
There can also be some other mental stuff going on too that you don't know about yet that hasn't presented itself.
True.
Only reason I say that, and this will be the last point before we move on, because we've been hammering this home.
No, that's great.
Parkinson's disease. A lot of people think, just like, a lot of people hear just these diagnoses like, oh, it's Parkinson's, this person shakes, or this person does that. And although that is true, there's so much other stuff. So Parkinson's disease, just as an example, is being super impulsive, being very just your decision-making skills, like your id and your ego, right? That's your decision-making. It's very like off-put, so you'll just make like, again, being impulsive and stuff, make not so great decision skills. Porn addiction is a side effect that goes hand in hand with Parkinson's disease. So
I did not know that.
So, I mean, I'm not like bringing my family into this, but like my father, who has Parkinson's disease, obviously he doesn't have any crazy stuff. But right now, you can't even tell, because he takes cannabis and stuff at night. You wouldn't even know he has Parkinson's disease. But someone like that, it's like, I have no idea my dad has Parkinson's disease, but he could have a porn addiction. And that might be the first thing of Parkinson's that's showing. Like, the first symptoms of it could be that. So if this person is older or something, maybe there's an underlying condition that you don't like know about.
Right.
And this is something that's presenting itself, being impulsive or having these addictions and things like that. So
it is really interesting to hear about all the things that affect impulse control.
Yeah,
there are things, where it's and I'm also a firm believer that addiction is a disease. It is, and it's not, it sucks, but it's whether or not you decide that that's something that you want to deal with in your partner. That's up to you.
100%.
Like, I don't think that someone who has an addiction to whatever it is a bad person at all. It's a disease. It's an illness that they have. But first of all, they have to want to get better.
Right.
And second of all, you have to decide whether that's a life that you want to live, because it's same thing with like mental health, like going through that stuff with Nick. You better really fucking love the person that you're with to go through that, because it is fucking rough. It's a battle. And for me personally, I thought I think it's worth it, because
for sure.
All of the good far outweighs the bad, but there are going to be those bad times, and whatever relationship you go through, you're going to have bad times, whatever it is, whether it's mental health, loss of a job, some sort of an addiction. It's a very common thing, but you just have to decide whether or not that's for you. So that's another thing to think about. Really, the biggest thing is the lying.
They say we're unqualified experts. I feel like Xia just dropped some knowledge right there. I'm like, right.
I'm like, kind of qualified there.
I'm listening to this, and I'm like, this makes total sense.
Oh, Nick sent me something.
Nick's about to text us, you guys are wasting time. Get back on track.
Yeah, I know. No, he's great with that. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about. This is what he does. Parkinson's medication can cause hypersexuality and associated criminal charges. Oh,
There you
no.
go.
So they're out there fucking attacking women.
Disease,
It's the medication.
Wow.
What a trip. Wow. Okay. Well, look at that. So we learned something new.
That's interesting because I was
Google.
actually on the same medication my father was, and I didn't have any.
It's weird how stuff affects people
Oh my
differently.
God, crazy.
It really does. Like there's some medications that's why you can't take other people's prescriptions because you don't know.
Yeah. I had side effects, but mine were way different than his were.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Because they have a long list and like a small percentage gets each side effect or different side effects. It's a trip. But yeah, I definitely think move on. I would talk to him. You can see what his excuse is, but I would just let him know.
I'm curious. Please give us an update on the excuse if he's not truthful. I want to hear it so bad.
So I just didn't think you would like me. I mean, geez, if you're 24 and he's even 32 or 36, that's not a big age.
I was going to say, that's not huge.
No, that's fine. Like, I feel like that's not even, I don't think that's one where society would look at you weirdly. I feel like 24 for a woman is mature. You know, you're past,
right.
You passed your teens,
The
you're well
only-
into 20s.
The only thing that I would think is just because there's so much debt and stuff nowadays is people at 24 tend to still just be at home with parents, things like that, which is, that's not a bad thing. That's just the economy.
Yeah.
You know? So that's the only difference is if you guys are at a very different point in your lives there and haven't figured it out yet. Other than that, though, who cares? If you're happy, it's irrelevant.
Yeah, if you're happy, you're happy. It's not predatory if the woman is in her mid-20s. Like, that's...
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, I do want to know an update. Actually, I really do. We're going to look at that one. Okay, moving on. I was a 19-year-old female, or I am a 19-year-old female. I was 14 at the time, and my teacher was 27. I'm sensing some inappropriate grooming shit coming up already. I've been thinking about this constantly, and my mother has been helping me out with the situation. Note, he never touched me in any way.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it can't be inappropriate, but that's good. So I transferred to his class, and as soon as I was introduced, he gave me a whole lot of attention. I have MDD and a lot of other problems. Do you know what MDD is?
No.
Huh. Self-esteem, trauma-related issues. Okay, so and a lot of other problems, and she said self-esteem and trauma-related issues. So when I realized this, I was... What is it?
Clinical depression.
Oh, MDD. Oh, is that like manic depressive disorder?
Bam.
Okay, got it. So when I know, okay, so she noticed the tension and she got happy because she had a really low self-esteem, a lot of trauma. That's super common and not your fault. I mean, I was 14 and this man was telling me I looked nice constantly. Super inappropriate. I opened up about my depression and would talk to him after class, message him if I was having a hard time.
Message him on what? Like texting?
Yeah, that's not
weird.
great.
That's weird.
That's super weird. You should never be texting your teacher.
I mean, you wouldn't know that. You're just,
No, you're
trying
young.
to get like a parental figure almost. But on this guy's end, inappropriate.
Is this? Yeah, no. You're 14.
Yeah, you don't know.
You don't know. You're figuring shit out. You're all fucked up. You're getting attention. I get that. I was pretty vulnerable, not including the fact that I was 14. Yeah, that's already bad. Getting to the meat of it. There was this one time he told me I needed motivation and then told me to listen to Motivation by Rowland. A song? Okay, whatever works for you.
Is that a song or a book?
It says, well, Kelly Rowland's a singer.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The song is extremely explicit. So I told him this and he told me to, quote, get my head out of the gutter. So I nodded. The bell rang and he called me out and said, hey, you're my motivation. If you don't know the lyrics to the song, I highly recommend you read or listen to it to understand why this may be weird. So he called me out and said, hey, blank, you're my motivation. So what's the blank?
Well, that's her name, right?
Oh, is that what it is?
The person's name, and
okay.
Like he's saying like you're my motivation. That's what I'm gathering.
Well, no,
you're
she said. Hold on, I gotta look up this.
I was gonna say look up the lyrics.
I want to look up the lyrics. Kelly Rowland, Motivation. This is explicit. I'm looking up Kelly Rowland, Motivation lyrics. Okay, I love how that pops up immediately.
Give us a verse. Let me hear it.
Whoa, lover, don't you dare slow down. Go longer, you can last more rounds. Oh boy, push harder, you're almost there now. So go, lover, make mama proud. Oh God. I don't want to feel my legs, and when we're done, I just want to feel your hands all over me, baby. This is not what I was expecting this song to be about.
That's like, okay, I was thinking that they would subtly imply, but that's just straight up, like, I want to bang.
Yeah. So you're right. I think that was her name, and she's just like
right, filling it in.
Yeah.
Is there any part in there about motivation though? Like
go motivation, baby, I'm a beer motivation. That seems to be it. This is a very explicit song. This is sounding so terrible.
This poor girl.
And then it goes on. He told me he wasn't in love with his wife. You shouldn't be talking about that to your students.
Or was?
Wasn't.
Oh no. Okay.
It was really bad. He would have me sit next to him at his desk and he'd move his chair closer. He told me about his childhood and his issues. He said that the boys are waiting in line for me because of how beautiful I am. Oh God, this is so stereotypical. He'd play love songs in class and lip sync them to me. He would get really close to my face and stare at my lips. He told me to keep my choker on because he liked how it looked. Oh my God, it keeps going. He told me that he didn't want to be the type of teacher other teachers and principals talked about. Oh God. He would stare at me during class, often forgetting what he was saying, bite his lips, lick his lips. Jesus Christ. Told me multiple times that I was cheating on him with other teachers. And when I joked about him cheating on me, he said that he said, quote, that would imply that we were in a relationship. This is all before he found out that I had a crush on him. I'm leaving a whole lot of interactions because the post would become longer and it already will be. So it's worse than she's even saying. Mm-hmm. When he found out I liked him, he started bringing it up constantly, telling me how he has a wife, kids, and a job, and he can't lose all of that. Told me how illegal it all was. He's already crossing so many lines. He's already crossed. Clearly, he's talking to himself when he's saying that to you.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's.
Ugh. I stopped talking to him one-on-one, but he'd always find a way to bring it up. I was never the one to mention it. By the end of the year, I was hardly talking to him. Saw him during summer while I was visiting the counselor, and he asked me what I'd been doing. I told him I'd been reading Lolita, and he asked me what it was about it. I said, it's a neurotic pedophile who kidnaps his stepdaughter. He then asked, oh, are you into that? I left after the conversation. I haven't spoken to him since. I would see him in the halls, but there was never an interaction, only him staring at me until I left. Was I groomed? Should I say something? Help, please.
Yes, you should say something. Because here's the thing, too. If someone else ever, like a classmate, ever saw any of... Wait, how old is she?
She said 14. Well, she's 19 now.
Okay. So here's the thing.
Sorry.
I would... Because if that person's still in the thing, and you're someone who was 14 and 19, you can come back and say, look, I just didn't understand it. At the time, and now looking back on it, this person seems to be a pedophile, and this is exactly what happened, and I think there needs to be something opened. If you know any classmates that would see him do these things, I would honestly reach out to them, because as someone that is 19, if someone reached out to me outside of school and said, hey, I think I had an issue when I was 14 with a teacher, did you see any of this happen, and if so, would you be willing to speak to someone just on my behalf? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't look at you weird. I would be like, that's crazy. Let's get to the bottom of this. And even if I couldn't help, no one's going to look at you in a bad way.
No, you were 14 years old. You were a literal child. Yeah. Like that's insanely predatory behavior. The fact that you're just now starting, like you were clearly uncomfortable then. Right. It's not weird to have a crush on a teacher. Yeah. You're young. You've got all these crazy hormones.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the adult, like you shouldn't come on to the teacher. Let me just say that. But it is the adult's responsibility to set those boundaries of like, I'm sure it's common for teachers, students to have crush on teachers all the time.
100%. Even the hot, like, girl teachers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you hear all the guys and stuff that are like, oh, I love this person.
But it's, as a teacher and a person, like, that's a legitimate person in authority. Yeah, I mean, Jesus, it doesn't get any more authoritative than that. He's your teacher, you're a student, you're an underage child. He has no business saying any of that stuff to you, ever. Yeah. Like, everything that he said and did was inappropriate. I could see that as, like, trying to groom you. I can see that as, like, getting into, like, a situation of, like, maybe I can... But also know this, and yes, you should say something. I agree, Jenna.
Just because, like, and what if he's doing this with other people?
Exactly what I was going to say, because you are not the only one. This is 100% going to happen to other girls and probably already has been. You're probably too old for him now. He's probably, if he was hitting on you when you're 14, he's like too old. He's a Game of Thrones guy.
Ugh. I've actually never seen Game of Thrones. I refuse to watch it. I used to have a hair color just like yours, actually. And I would do these braids because it was obviously dead as hell because mine's so dark. and I would do the double braids and stuff like that. So all my friends used to call me Khaleesi. Some of them still do. When I see them, they go, Khaleesi.
And you're like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I've seen her on Google.
It's a huge compliment. She's beautiful.
And that's what they all say. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. But I did. I had silver, beautiful, like white snow hair like yours, and I would do the double braiding, and I would have the little pieces and stuff hanging out. So everyone just called me Khaleesi.
Oh man, now I'm gonna harass you to help me double braid my hair and be like, hey Jenna,
100%.
what are you doing? Like, you come braid my hair?
100%.
This is a hard hair color to maintain. My hair is blonde, but it's not this blonde. Like, my hair is more of now it's a much darker blonde, but when I was a kid, it was like a very like honey blonde into teenagerdom. Yeah.
And now mine's just dark brown.
It's hard. Natural blondes don't stay blonde. Like, as you get older, it just gets darker. So like, it's still, my hair's actually more reddish now as an adult. If I let it grow out, yeah, it's like a reddish blonde color, because I was born with red hair.
Wow.
Yeah, my grandma's a redhead. But then it turned super blonde. And then when I was about 16, I started dyeing it. I fucked my hair up. I did black. I did brown. I did pink. I did purple. Yeah, like we all go, oh my God.
Every color of the rainbow.
Yes.
You guys remember Scene Kids?
Yeah. I've seen pictures,
I was a scene
Jenna.
Queen. I
love
the queen of middle school scene.
Oh, I absolutely love it. I feel like we all have to go, any like little outcast kids, we all got to go through that. It's, where we dye hair all crazy colors and we fucking wear boys' pants. Apparently. 100%. I love it. All right, moving on. But yeah, yes, you should say something. Yes, he was trying to groom you. It was insanely inappropriate. He's definitely doing this to other
100%.
girls. That's fucked up. It's gross. Oh, this one's a weird one. Okay. I've been a single dad practically all of my daughter's life, so obviously I've been bathing her since she was a baby. However, my new girlfriend of 3 months has an issue with that. She claims it's inappropriate and that dads in general shouldn't be bathing their daughters.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, this is insane.
How old's your daughter?
That's what I want to know. He doesn't say. We don't live together, but I just don't know how to get her to stop bothering me about this and get her to see my point of view on this.
I mean, assuming that if you're still bathing your kid's young.
She needs help being bathed.
Right,
Yeah,
and here's the thing. When
it?
you're like 6, 7 years old at that point, like, I know for me, I because my dad would offer, like, hey, do you need help with anything or whatever, or be like, no, like, I don't want to change it from you, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
At that age, you have the wherewithal. So unless your daughter is uncomfortable, which it definitely sounds like she's not, it sounds like she's too young.
She's a baby. If she's a baby,
too young,
or even up to like, what, 3, 4, 5? You can't let a kid like that bathe themselves.
No,
I'm like trying to remember like what age they could be okay to bathe themselves. But kids drown in fucking this much water in a bathtub all the time. If you leave them unattended, you can't. That's crazy. First of all. Second of all,
even if the kid's like 5, if they need help and you're her dad.
Yeah.
Her dad.
As long as you're not like in there naked with her when she's like 5 or 6, I feel like there's no problems. I don't understand what your girlfriend has an issue with.
Yeah, it sounds like she had some stereotypical issues, or she's had problems in the past maybe, or someone's maybe said something to her.
Yeah.
Sounds like some of that, but I think that you were doing an absolutely great job parenting. And coming from 2 women, I mean, my dad used to bathe me all the time.
Of course.
And when I got
when
I got too old and I felt uncomfortable, I told him, like, I don't want to change in front of you anymore. I'm at that age. And he was like, of course, no problem.
Yeah.
Like, you're at that age and you feel uncomfortable. And he said, anything you need help with, you can come to me, but I won't,
it's really funny. I was literally having this conversation with my dad last night because yesterday was my little brother's birthday. He's 20. I don't know how that happened.
You have a brother?
I have a brother. He's my
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's my half brother.
We
have different moms because this was after my mom died, obviously. So my sister and I have the same mom, same dad, but my brother is a different mom, same dad.
Got it. Okay.
And he is adorable. He's 20 now. I'm like, how did this happen? I remember when you were just a little baby. Now he has a mustache. He's so cute though. He's got a little he shaved it off. I was like, thank God. It was like this little creepy thin mustache.
I hate those.
Logan.
I hate those.
Like, don't do this.
Oh, Logan's a cute name.
It's a cute name.
That is cute. I like that.
He's but anyway, it was his birthday, so I called over. He was having a party with all of his friends. I talked to him. I talked to my dad, and I was driving up to Terrytown for my friend Chrissy's engagement party. Congratulations, Chrissy. Everybody in the chat knows her. Everyone in the comments knows her. She's fucking awesome. But she just got engaged, so I was at this engagement party last night, and it was so much fun. We were hanging out with everybody, but on the drive up, it was about an hour and a half drive, and the drive home, and I was like, I need to stay awake.
Right.
And I wanted to talk to my brother, so I was talking to my dad on the way up and actually on the way home, and it's funny how we were talking about this because we got onto the subject of it because the way that men talk to women who like show any sort of skin online is fucking hysterical to me. I'm like, have you never seen a thigh? What's happening? Like, I'll see girls who post a picture, and if they have like any amount of cleavage showing, guys are like, hey, why do you have so much cleavage showing? You need to cover yourself up. And I'm like, and the women are literally like, well, because it's my body.
Do you want to hear something iconic? The other weekend I was in Pennsylvania. Shout out to my boyfriend, actually. I'm coming at you. I was in Pennsylvania the other weekend with him and like some friends and stuff. And he said to me, he was like, oh my God, Jenna, like the whole weekend you had shorts that were all the way up your butt. Like we could see your butt cheeks and stuff. And I was like, I had a bathing suit on.
I was going to say, you saw me in a bikini.
And here's the thing, the funny thing too, it's like when I had a bathing suit on majority of the weekend because we were at my lake house by a lake swimming.
Yeah.
So my thing was like, wait, so you saw my butt cheek with my bikini on underneath the shorts, and that was the issue. But I said when I take the shorts off because I just have a bikini on,
that's okay.
It's fine.
No,
so
I
think it's
no
iconic
sense.
when like guys think of that.
Oh, it makes me laugh so hard because I'm like, man, they really have issues with women's bodies.
Yeah, and I'm like,
so strange. I've never experienced it. And I was talking to my dad about that because we're talking about, being online and doing that kind of stuff. And I was like, I see it happen to other women all the time, not even just to me, like to everybody else. And I was like, I'm really glad that I wasn't raised in like this sort of puritanical, your body is shameful type of thing.
Right.
And I was like, I'm grateful for that because I'm so comfortable. Like, to me, it's not dirty to see a leg. Like, it's just a body. It's not like this inherently.
Here's the thing. I don't really think it's that dirty for many people, but I know like in schools, if I was in middle school, this is considered spaghetti straps.
Right. Which
and I
you look pretty demure to me. I don't think
look,
that's
I
like
got a nice long dress and stuff, but in middle school, I'll be showing too much shoulder.
Too much shoulder.
And I have never heard of a guy getting turned on by a shoulder. But we are trained from a very early age. You cannot show this, and you have to wear pants down to here.
Right.
And guys can't wear any,
tank
tees
tops
or short
really?
t-shirts or
guys
tank
can't
tops.
either?
Tank tops.
Wow.
It depends. If you have most guys don't have short sleeve shirt, but
right.
if your shirt was too short and you should show too much arm and stuff, even our guys, they would get sent home in middle school and high school.
So
and stuff.
weird. And see, look, I understand as you're a kid, you don't want kids to be walking around dressing like sluts. Like I get that, like women,
right?
But also when a girl is just wearing regular shorts, like I wouldn't want my
hanging out.
Yeah, I wouldn't want my
12. That's
exactly. I'd be like, that's. But it's just this weird thing. And I was talking to him about him. I'm like, I'm just really glad I wasn't raised that way. And he was talking about it too. It's, as an adult now, it's so funny to like have these conversations with your parents because you're so much more aware.
Right.
And I know the way that my dad was raised was absolutely insane. Like my dad saw orgies when he was a kid.
Wow.
Yeah, like his parents were. My dad lives an insane life. Like that's just the tip of the iceberg. His dad was giving him weed and getting him high when he was 6. His dad's fucking insane. His family's insane. And so it's funny, we were talking about that, how he's like, there's obviously a line of course kids shouldn't be exposed to that.
Right.
That's crazy. So like there was no like weird shame around our body, but we also weren't like that household where people walked around naked.
Right.
And he like talked about that. Like I'd seen my stepmom naked. She was a little like that. But my dad was like, yeah, of course. And this is where this comes into this relating to the story. He's like, of course, when you were a baby, I would bathe with you. I would shower with you because you're a baby. Yeah, well, he's like, as soon as you started getting to an age where you were like noticing, like if I was like, what's that? Like looking at his, like as soon as I got to an age where I was like, and which I think is young, I was probably like 2 or 3. He's like, that's when the nudity stopped. He's like, that's when we wouldn't, like I would bathe you, but I wouldn't get in naked with, you know what I mean? He's like, I don't walk around naked with you guys. He's like, it's fucking weird.
It's weird.
But it doesn't sound like that's what, it sounds like he's just bathing his daughter, which is normal. You bathe your babies. That's a normal thing.
I don't think I have no recollection of my dad ever bathing with me. My mom, yes. My mom used to come into the shower with me and we would wash our bodies together.
Yeah.
Making sure,
like
I'm soaping properly and I'm a female and I've got good feminine hygiene from an early age,
Yeah. I think that's not weird.
But I also, it was like girls see girls, guys see guys.
Yeah.
Like that's how I was raised. If I'm looking at another girl and the other girl's naked, as a child, we had the same parts. Mm-hmm. Didn't matter. I would change in front of my friends. We would like turn around and stuff, but
yeah, no, I'm super comfortable
my
being naked around women.
Even when I was, here's the thing too, I was on the swim team, so I would be getting changed in front of like
locker rooms,
groups of people. So for me, from a very early age, I was always around that, but also people my age, the moms, it was all moms and stuff. So
Yeah, no, and I agree with, and I didn't, and that's the difference. Like, I didn't have a mom.
yeah,
My mom died when I was really, really young. But it was, yeah, just sort of having that conversation. But my stepmom met my dad when I was pretty young too. But it was like this weird this conversation that we had of like, of course you don't want to expose your children to sex. That's weird and gross. That's like not a good thing.
Right.
But also I think there's like a line of like, it's not good to teach your kids that bodies are shameful, because they're not. It's just this meat suit that you live in. Like, I don't know.
Suit, yes.
And I think it's made me like a very, I don't know. I don't get like worked up about seeing bodies, whether it's,
I don't either.
There are times when it's inappropriate. I'm not going to dress like a whore fucking going, to the grocery store.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
But also, even if I see a girl dressed like that, I still don't get worked up about it. I'm not like, oh my God, she's wearing short shorts. But
She's doing her.
She's doing her thing. She's doing her thing. So I don't know. I think that I think your girlfriend is overreacting to you bathing your daughter as a
100%.
single dad. Unless we find out the daughter is like 10 and then we're like,
Yeah, then it's like, okay, maybe you shouldn't do that. Like, there definitely needs to be a cutoff period.
This is weird.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what is the cutoff of like bathing your kid as a single parent.
again, here's the thing. I remember
5?
because we did baths up until I was probably around like maybe like 3 or 4, whatever. But I took showers from such an early age.
Right?
I was an early age shower person.
Do you like baths?
So I only took them when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I like them now, but now I'm just not in a scenario where I can take a bath.
Okay.
Because it's not like my house or anything, so I'm not just taking a bath. When I have my own place, I definitely will be bathed.
I was wondering about that.
I'll do shower. I always used to do shower, and then I would get in the bath after once I was like clean. Sit there for like 15 minutes and just hang.
I'm the opposite. I can't do baths. I don't, but I was like that I started showering as a kid as a young age too.
I was really
really young. And I'm trying to remember like when see, that's the thing. It was young enough that I don't remember.
Right. And I think that's the point too. As a parent, you have to just make sure your kids, doing it. Cause I'm obviously old enough to remember showering with my mom on a few occasions, but it was to make sure that we would get in, everything would be clean and teach me, I specifically remember one time she was like, okay, we're going to do first, we're going to wash our hair with shampoo. Then we're going to put in the conditioner. And then once the conditioner sits, you wash your body so it can sit on your hair and stuff. And I remember doing this with my mom, like in the shower together.
I'm trying to remember because my
that was it.
brother was born when I was older because he's my half brother. I'm trying to remember that situation. We bathed him when he was a toddler. He got to a certain age where he would shower by himself. And I just actually remember my dad yelling, Logan, make sure you wash your butt.
Right. Or my parents would also, we would bathe ourselves, but they would sit in the room. So they would just like sit on the like toilet, or they would sit on like the side of the something. Yeah. So when we were done, you can come out.
Yeah, and they'd wrap you in the towel, and then that's like regular and normal too.
Yeah, just like sitting on the side while your kid is independent.
No, I'm with you on that too. Like what you're talking about with your dad. Like when you get to a point where your kid's like, Mom, get out of here. Like if I had kids and they were like, get out of here, and that's when you're like, all right.
That's it.
You're understanding.
Clearly old enough to have that. So
to like feel uncomfortable around it. So I don't know. I think your girlfriend's overreacting unless your daughter is like much older than. I wish we had an age there to go off of, but as long as she's within a baby to 4 or 5. I'm like, really, for people who have kids in the comments, when did you stop bathing your kid? I'm trying to feel like when can they start to bathe themselves? I feel like you've got to be. Kinda.
Well, here's the thing.
6?
And then 6 I feel like is old though. And I only say this because my boyfriend's niece is 6 years old. And she has never like taken showers. She only takes baths. But for us, she's a well-able 6-year-old going to school. Like there's no reason that she should not be taking showers. I mean, I'm sure she's taking baths, but she's still at the age where she's a little just like not caught up to speed of her age because she wasn't in school. She was a COVID kid. Not COVID kid, but she missed 2 years of school.
Wow, yeah, that's right. You don't even think about that for the young kids.
That's at the prime age. So she's trying to catch up. They're trying to catch up. So for them, she's at that age where she should be doing baths and stuff. Maybe not like completely alone, but I was doing that stuff on my own at that age.
Yeah, right?
So she doesn't take baths or anything alone. So her parents have to be in the room with her. They still help her if she takes any sort of, like they spray her with the shower or something. Her parents do that. So at that age, I feel like you got to start being more independent. Obviously, it's different for every scenario because, again, she missed out and she was a COVID kid. So a lot of that, for what was appropriate for her age group, her parents didn't see. Like, they don't know.
Right.
She doesn't know because she's not around her proper age group for so long.
Right. And she's maybe not learning some of the things that it's weird not to be around other kids when you're growing up. That's why homeschool kids, if they aren't like, don't have other homeschool kids or other kids to be around or like family members or whatever, some homeschool kids are weird. Not all of them, but like some of them where you're like, you were not around other kids and it shows.
Yeah.
Moving on. I ended my relationship with my ex about 3 years ago. She kissed my best friend, and that ended the relationship between me and both of them. Fair. Fast forward 2 years, she fucks another one of my good friends. Jesus, what's wrong with this girl? It hurt. We talked things out with the friend. I decided I wasn't going to end the friendship. Fast forward another year, another really good friend of mine confesses that he fucked my ex. This girl is a whore, and I do not use that word often or lightly. That already makes 3 good friends that had something with my ex. Am I okay to feel angry? Yes! Because I'm fucking furious at her and my friend. My friend said he was drunk, but that's what the other 2 also said. And there aren't enough people for my ex to fuck. Should I end this friendship? Should I say something to my ex?
Here's the thing. Your ex, she's your ex. In all honesty, as shitty as that is, as horrible and as just mean as that is, especially if you don't have contact, if she was hanging around your friends and stuff when you guys were together and she formed some sort of bond, relationships, whatever with them, at this point, she's your ex. So she can do anything she wants. You guys, if you guys aren't talking or whatever the case is, I'm not saying, like, it's not right.
No,
but
you're right.
I'm saying, like, she also has
she doesn't owe you anything at that point.
Obligation to be nice to you. Or not nice, but if she's not fucking you and she wants to fuck your friends, she can do that.
She sounds like a shitty person. I think, your issue here is with your friends.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The fact that his friends were like, oh, I'm just gonna fuck this person's ex. Like,
she's easy.
If I went to any of my ex-boyfriend's friends and went, Zach, my ex-boyfriend Carmine had a hot friend named Zach. Everyone knew he was hot. Everyone wanted to get with him. Obviously, I've never pursued anyone.
Yeah.
But let's just use this guy Zach as an example. I know for a fact if I went, Zach, I think you're attractive and I would like to do something with you, Zach would be like, get the fuck out of here, bitch.
Because he's a good friend.
He's a good friend. So I just be like Zach. If you don't have friends like Zach who would tell, which again, this never happened. This is just a scenario I'm coming up with. But I just know Zach would look at me and be like, yo, you're Carmine's ex.
Yeah.
You know? And
I also know for a fact none of Nick's friends would fuck me. They'd be like, what the fuck, dude? Like, that's 100%. So fucked up. Like, they'd be like, Nick, yo, your wife's a whore. Like, I feel like it'd be like such a quick, easy, and I'd be like, oh. But yes, she is a whore. That's so fucking, like, first of all, your ex sucks, and it's good that you're not together with her anymore because she sounds like a garbage trash person.
Again, but like, even forget her for a second. What she did is not right, but she also has no obligation. Whatever. You can be mad at her. It's not solving anything, unfortunately. You got to talk with your friends and say, like, why would you do that to me? And everything we've gone through and everything I went through with her. Like,
they're not real
if your
friends.
Not even so much if, like if your friends are screwing you over, that means they're screwing the people they love over. They're screwing anyone over to better themselves and be selfish. And it's like, you don't really want to be around those people. Those are not going to be people that support you, bring you to the top. So I would say, talk to your friends, and you might have to cut some friends off. As horrible and shitty as that is, that's never someone to be around. Yeah, no, the fact that your first friend kissed her when you guys were together, that's enough to end the friendship. I agree. This is like, what friends do you... And it's nothing against you, but I'm saying the circle does not sound like a quality supportive circle. No, they sound awful. That sucks. Come hang out with me. Yeah, we got good friends for you. Yeah, that sucks. I'm very sorry, man. But yes, you shouldn't say anything to your ex because Jenna's right. She doesn't owe you anything. Yeah. It's not, unfortunately, it's not solving anything because she can do what she wants. So forget the ex. Just go with the friends. Yeah. No, I 100% agree. Absolutely. But yes, you are okay to feel angry. Oh yeah, be as angry as you want. That's understandable. Your friends suck. Poor guy. Ugh. Oh, this is a fun one. So we definitely have time for one more. These kink ones are fun sometimes because it's always interesting. Yeah. I just signed up actually for instafeet.com. They're awaiting my approval of my application. To put your feet pictures out there? All right, guys. I have to go through a whole application, so I'm not going to promote myself yet. You have nice feet. But if I do.
No free feet.
Free feet.
She's giving you free. You get to see free feet with slippers.
Yes.
All right. So when that happens, you're coming back on and we're going to promote your feet.
Yes.
Okay. So this is going to be fun. So speaking of kinks, free feet. My husband is a 28-year-old male, has a CBT fetish. I don't know what that means. And always wants me, a 27-year-old female, to punch and slap his balls when we fuck. Okay. Got it. Got
Right,
cock and
got
ball.
it.
Okay. Yes. Yep. Thank you. He says he likes it and loves moaning because of the pain. I don't know how it really feels, but I'm sure it's extremely painful. He once told me to trap his balls under the toilet seat and stomp them. God.
Okay.
Because
Yikes.
of this, I try to avoid having sex with him very often, but we are both horny. I am extremely worried for him. He once wanted to buy some toys to ball bust him with, but I didn't let him. We've been together for 9 years and married for 2. He's always saying that his balls hurt and he really likes it. I once punched his balls when he was about to nut. Someone please help me. I don't know what to do, but I really love him so much. Wow.
I love this one. I wish all of the questions were like
We're just
that.
this. You're like,
like, let me hear your kinks.
Well,
I mean, he can do whatever he wants.
He
I
likes
think that
it.
if you're uncomfortable with it, because I personally too, if my boyfriend was in that, that's all great and fine. But like, I just don't think I can bring. Maybe I can during sex or something, but I can't like bring myself to actually like harm him.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like,
that would be hard.
You can scratch or hit or but it's like the sexual hits and stuff. That sounds like you are uncomfortable because like you shouldn't be doing that, or like stepping on a toilet seat with your husband's nutsack underneath it.
I completely understand you being worried about him.
I could never do that just because I can't see my significant other in pain that I've caused. Even if he likes it, I'm like,
Well, I can understand. Yeah, no, that would be weird and hard. I can understand though being worried about him because what if you like permanently injure? Balls are
they're delicate,
super
man.
delicate. I feel like slamming them, and I know guys are super into this, and like. The truth is, if he doesn't get it from you, he might find someone else to get it from, of like a dominatrix style situation where he's. So I don't know. This is a super weird one. I understand why you're uncomfortable and why you're worried about him.
Here's the thing. You also said you avoid having sex with him.
That's never good.
That's bad.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's bad.
I would sit down and have a conversation with him, and maybe you can agree on some ground rules. Well, you'll do certain things, but like there's a level that's too far for you. And if he's okay with that, like maybe you can work out. I mean, all relationships are give and take. You're never going to have someone that's 100% on board with you with anything. Sexually, life, whatever it is. There's always going to be some differences. There's always going to be some lines that you're like, you know what? Like I'll participate in this with you, but this is too far for me.
100%.
So the fact that you're participating and willing because you do love him is a huge sign. So he also has to have some give and take on his end. He has to have some flexibility of all right, if you'll do this for me, you're not comfortable with doing something that you feel like could really hurt my ball, like slamming them or stepping on them with high heels. So we can do up to here, but maybe we don't do past that. Yes. You got to compromise.
I completely agree with that. And does he actually know and how uncomfortable it makes you feel? Because here's the thing too, that's a little, although he loves it, it's also a little selfish that he keeps putting you in these situations because he wants it, knowing it makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I would just like really reiterate on how you feel about it.
That's a good point. Anyone who doesn't listen to the way you feel, like any partner who doesn't listen to the way you feel about something and dismisses your feelings.
And like for a selfish reason, because that's like a selfish kink that he would be doing. You know, that's not just like a kink, that would be a selfish kink. Because he's putting you in an uncomfortable scenario. Yeah.
Sex is supposed to be pleasurable for both parties. And if it's so much of like a deal breaker that it's going to end the relationship. But yeah, if you have someone that you come to them and you're like, hey, this thing, I don't like this, or this thing is too much for me, or can we do this? If they're basically tell you to go fuck yourself, that's not healthy, and that's not a healthy relationship. And it means that they don't like value you or respect you. And that sucks too. So yeah, that's a good point.
Maybe you can get him like, as when you're compromising, I'm just trying to think outside the box, or like still stay in the box. So like, I don't know, are there just like sex toys that you can get that a person can use on themselves that are really into that? Like, what if you say, look, I'm not down for some of the more extreme stuff, but I have purchased you some crazy like nut cage or something that when you get yourself off in your private scenario, you can like mutilate yourself
Well,
or
she
or
did.
it's like a machine, maybe. Like if it clicks a button, it'll like strangle some guy's nutsack. I don't know.
These things probably exist.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
they probably
100%,
do. You're absolutely
100%.
right.
And it's like, okay, well, he's not doing it to himself. He's just clicking a button and like having it done, and maybe he can like have a picture of you next to the bed or something while he's doing it. I don't know.
He's like, you're involved. I've got this picture of you. This is
She
fun.
purchased a nut cage for you. Or...
Yeah. There's got to be some kind of a line. He did say that he was getting some ball busting toys, and she stopped him from doing it.
Right.
It seems like she's legitimately worried about his balls being.
Do you think he
wrecked.
like gets off to 2 kids in a sandbox?
What is that?
Isn't it like a video where it's like some guy shoves like shit up his like pee hole or something? I think it's like a screwdriver.
Not seen that one, but oh my god,
I'm almost certain because I've actually never seen it, but I think, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm waiting for Nick to pop in.
I know.
Nick to pop in to go, I've watched it.
He's like, I know what you're. No, Nick is like. Anytime that kind of stuff comes up, or like ball torture, I can feel him cringing out there now, where he's just like, oh.
So there was this thing when I was younger, and it was the whatever it was, Olympics. So it's these people, and they would like mutilate themselves so much to the point where it was like a competition, and they made these compilation videos of men mutilating themselves.
That
for
does
like
not seem like a good idea.
the fun of it. And it was like, I don't know what it was, but it was some Olympic thing. Men do. Stupid men.
You men.
And
God.
there was one video of like one guy actually taking like a knife and like cutting himself down there and crap. I know. And I remember being like the most badass bitch because I'm sitting there at Domino's Pizza where I used to work, and the guys are like hovering around this thing going, and I'm like, yo, what are you watching? They look at me, a cute little me, and they go, you don't want to know. And I'm like,
I do
try
wanna
me.
know.
Try me.
Get mom on the phone.
And they proceed to show me a compilation of men mutilating themselves, either hurting themselves or physically cutting their genitalia, straight face, the whole thing. And after it was done, I was like, that was like 2 minutes of my time I'll never get back, but
It was fine. You're like, I wasn't like
in some way, shape, or form, I didn't like completely get like about it, you know?
Maybe you have a future as a dominatrix. You don't have to have sex with anyone. You just beat the shit out of them.
Yeah,
You're
maybe.
like, bah.
Yeah, will someone pay me to like tie them up and just get all my anger out on them with like a whip or
yes, people
something.
will absolutely pay you for that. Some dominatrix make like $1,000 a fucking hour. Like, it's wild.
Really?
Yeah, the ones that are really good. There's a lot to it. Like, when you talk to actual professional dominatrixes, and I've been trying to get one on Chip, the show that I do, but none of them are getting back to me, and I'm really frustrated.
Do they have to like hook up with the people?
No.
Or they just like kick the shit out of them?
No, they don't. That's the thing. You don't. There's some that are like sensual dominatrix, but there are a lot that no, the man's not allowed to touch them, like not even allowed to look at them. It's like this humiliation.
Right.
And when you hear some of them talk about it, Nick actually had one girl on Maria's show when he was working. He booked her on there, and I remember apparently some of the women were like, "Oh, Maria, you're not gonna like this guest." They didn't know that Nick could hear him or hear them. I'm like, oh, Maria, you're not going to like this guest, because they were like, he got a dominatrix on, and Maria ended up loving her, because she talks about, she's like so much about being a dominatrix. It's not just beating the shit out of them.
Right.
The good dominatrix, the ones that really understand what they're doing, understand their clients, and make a ton of money, a lot of it is like this connection to this other person, but so much of it is like this power and the way that you carry themselves. And like, I'm not going to do it justice going into it, but her name is Xia Urbank. I feel like I got her last name wrong, but it's Xia something. And she talks about it. She wrote a book about it, how women can reclaim power, and just like, it's this like inner confidence that they have. I have the book and I need to listen to it. I just haven't. But it's so much more about that than it is about the actual act of what you're doing.
Okay.
So it's the way she talks about it's actually fascinating, because it's like fulfilling this thing for this man, but it's so much more than just beating the shit out of them. Of course, that's part of it, or humiliating them.
Right,
Sometimes
right.
it's like this humiliation. You treat them like dogs, like animals. It's a trip.
I've seen that stuff, yeah.
Yes, it's a trip.
I
But
learned so much.
All the
Zia's
internet.
dropped nuggets during the entire thing. Just nuggets, golden nuggets everywhere.
So have you.
Oh, well, thank you.
You
but
got
I'm just
always
like,
good nuggets.
I'm like, wow, like I've learned so much today. We tend to ramble. I feel like that's the worst thing. Whenever we're both on together, or at least I'm on, because obviously it's your show, we both go on these tangents.
I love it.
But I do. I feel like I learned so much.
Yeah, here it is. Nick, of course, sent it to me. Xia Urbaniak. That's her name. I knew I was close. Xia Urbaniak. And I follow her on Instagram. I love a lot of what she has to say. She's really cool.
Wow.
All right, guys. This has been a really fun episode. You guys have to follow Jenna. Jenna, where can people find you?
Instagram, so nice. Jen Jam Basile. That is Jam. Wait, no, Jen. I'm getting my own Instagram wrong. JenJamBasile.
Yep, guys, follow her on Instagram. And you guys have been so nice to her, and that makes me so happy.
Thank you so much.
Keep an eye out for the feet.
We'll talk about the feet more.
Guys.
If I get approved, which, I mean, I'm not going to say I have cute, because I'm not into feet.
You have cute feet.
But I've also had people ask me previously for feet pictures, and I just never did it because at that time I was also... I either in high school or just graduated high school. So I was too young, I felt like, to be partaking in that.
That's
especially because at that time I had a good paying job. I didn't really care to keep up with the, just clients and stuff. So I never did it. And I'm sitting here now going, I've been asked. I know I got cute little feet. And the photos I took, I did a whole photo shoot of my feet to apply to be a foot model. And I just looked back at all of them after some minor editing and filters and playing with lighting and stuff. And I'm like, damn, I would pay for my feet.
Yeah, no.
I was into feet. I said, those are some toes I would pay for.
What size are your feet?
I think they're like 6.5.
Yeah, that's like a great, I mean, guys, there are guys who like different kind. Like some guys like big feet, and that there are different things. But I feel like so many guys love the little... Like you have very little, they're nice, your toes are nice, like everything's shaped well.
Mine are smaller than 6.5, but I have like a little wider feet because I'm flat-footed.
Okay.
So I just get like bigger shoe sizes, so it's probably more closer to a 6.
Closer to a 6, but you need a little more room width-wise.
Right,
okay.
Hey,
all right, guys,
I get approved, you know what? Screw it. I don't even need to get approved. If any of you guys want my feet pic, you know where to find me. Instagram me on, or DM me on Instagram. And we'll hook something up.
Do it. Oh my God. All right, guys. And I'm telling you right now, she has really cute feet. So all the feet guys in the comments. What'd you say, Nick? Credo. Oh my God. Credo's gonna lose his mind. So you're gonna be hearing from this guy, Credo. He's a sweet boy. He's super into feet.
I love it.
Credo, she's selling feet pictures. Boom. Easy peasy. That's already like, I swear, guaranteed one client. I don't know why I didn't think of him. He comments every time, socks? And I'm like, yeah, socks. I do put feet stuff on my OnlyFans sometimes, but not that often. I get more other... Like, I get requests for other random kinks. Like, people like a lot of upskirt stuff is super popular. I do a lot of that and dick rating.
What does that mean, though?
Where, like, if I'm sitting there reading and I'm wearing a skirt and the camera's positioned so you can see up my skirt. Yeah, I get a ton of those.
That's adorable. I'm not, like, adorable as in, like, masculine. In that's, like, such a benign thing to like.
I know. I love it. I'll do those videos all day. People are like, can you do that?
It's so benign and nice. Yeah. Good for you guys.
I know, right? So you know what? I gotta be honest. Most of my OnlyFans people are pretty fucking great. Where they don't push me, they don't ask me for anything that like I'm not comfortable with. Right. They're super cool. I get they're so great, and I get a lot of people coming in who are like, I've been taking a break from hardcore porn. I don't like it. Really, I'm not watching it right now. It's a little bit much for me. I like what you do because it's like there, but it's not. Like it's very sort of teasing content. So no matter what you find that you're going to do, there's going to be like demographics of people who are into what you're doing. Right. And feet are a very popular one.
And I've been asked previously, and I never went into it. And I have no problem satisfying a person's kinks. Like, if it's something benign like this, you know.
Yeah, whatever you're comfortable, as long as you're comfortable with it, it's feet. I mean, geez.
That's what I'm saying. Like, my boyfriend's not into feet, so he was just like, do whatever the hell you want. I don't care.
Nice. Yeah, no, and it's as long as you're comfortable with it, and it's something that you're cool doing, you have no problem doing it. You're like, I know guys are jerking off to my feet, but here they are.
Yeah, I'll do. Yeah, I'm excited. I really hope they approve my application.
It'll just make it easier, but you can, like you said, you can still do it through Instagram if they just DM you. That's an easy way to do it. Set up your PayPal or whatever, put it in your link.
I have the biggest fear though.
What's your fear?
That I'm gonna like put out a video or do something with my feet, or even just like whatever it is myself. I'm in it, or if I'm if it's my feet and they want to see like me in like a, I don't know, like lingerie or something. I have this like horrible fear, because I know scammers do this, that they'll like screen record or screenshot whatever, and say, hey, I have these photos of you and this like that, because this happens actually to my to someone I know. This happened to someone I know. And go, like, if you don't send me money right now, I'm posting all of your stuff on the internet and tagging you, and everyone's gonna see it, and I'll send it to all your stuff. So, like, I know someone who has had that problem, so that is my absolute biggest fear. Like, I don't need...
Would you be worried about people tagging your feed, like, people knowing that you self-put content?
Not feed, but I'm saying, like, if
anything
I'm
else.
doing anything else.
Yeah.
And if I'm doing anything else, or I'm, like, not clothed properly or up to, you know, my standards.
Right.
I don't want... You know, I have, like, ex-students. When I was a teacher, I have ex-students that are now much older, and I'm not a teacher and stuff, that will follow me. Like, the last thing I need is my ex-students that I used to teach seeing, like, not clothed photos or anything of myself.
So that's the thing. If you're going to get into it, you have to know that that's
like,
going to happen.
People are scammers.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. You have to know that's going to happen. You just have to be okay with it.
Has that ever happened to you?
No, not that particular thing, no. But I got ahead of it
give
where,
anyone
like...
ideas. Like, hey, send me your money or I'm going to post you online.
No. And that's the thing. And that happens to people all the time. I kind of went into this with the mindset of, like, this is what I'm doing, and I don't hide it. So no one could do that to me. They couldn't be like, hey, give me money, or people will see that you do this. I'm like, people know I do this.
I know. It's like all over your Instagram. You're like,
I told my family. And that's what the thing is. I know some people who try not to tell their family, but I was like, you know what? And that's the great thing. I love my family. They're not judgmental pricks. So, like, they know it, and they don't look at me any differently. They're not shitty to me. And so that's the sort of thing where I just came out ahead of it, and I was like, this is what I'm doing now, and I'm not going to feel ashamed about it, and I'm not going to let someone try to blackmail me by being like, someone's going to see your naked pictures. I'll be like, okay. Like,
see, I don't care, like, my family. So my brother, not Nick, my other brother, he's 100% judgmental and an asshole, and, like, I don't like him. So he would have issues if I ever said, hey, this is what I'm doing. Immediately start with the college dropout, this and that, and, like, I just don't want to hear it. But he's irrelevant,
people.
like, irrelevant. My dad would be supportive of it, because his thing is, like, if you're sitting behind a camera and you're just in your, you know, comfort of your house, and you're making content and people are buying it, he's, like, all about it.
That's great, because
he's all about it.
It's one of those things that, first, again, some people inherently view, and I've seen arguments about this all day on Twitter, and I'm not going to get into it too much, but it's, for some reason, people think that being clothed or doing these other things automatically makes you a better person, which is just not the case.
It's not.
There are people who are quote unquote religious, or people who are, you know, I would never do sex work, who are fucking cheating, rotten pieces of shit.
Yes.
Who, like,
okay, let's take that. What was it? First or second question we got? With the girlfriend who said she wants to be a doctor that was looking down on other people.
Yeah. That's, like, exactly what it is.
Like,
and then you get people who have, just garbage people. And then you get people who work in the sex industry who are happily married and have never cheated on their partners, or, like, come and respect their partners. And, like, it's doing one thing doesn't automatically make you a better or a worse person. Your character does, regardless of the things that you do and what you're comfortable with. Like, I think it's such a weird take that people have where they're like, oh, well, you do sex work, so you're automatically a shitty person. Which is just not how it works.
It's just stupid.
Yeah, people are just, it's dumb.
Or, like, you're dirty, or you're a whore, you're doing this. Like,
I get, what I get a lot too is like, oh, you're not wife material. Not to me, but, well, I have gotten that before. You're not wife material to me, or, like, to other women in the industry. And I'm like, first of all, I am married. So apparently I am.
And, you know, in a very nice, successful, beautiful relationship, living in a beautiful place. Like
I'm good on that front. First of all. Second of all, you were never in the running, so I don't know why you're worried about it. Like, you were never going to be that guy.
Right,
and there, most of the women who I know that are in the industry in some way or another are married. Like, I have so many of them that I actually have a group of friends that are all... usually OnlyFans. Sometimes they do more mainstream porn, but because I do OnlyFans, most of the women that I meet also do similar sort of things. They're all married. Like, it's funny because guys think that for some reason, like, I see so much of it. It's like, oh, well, you did porn, you're obviously damaged goods, and they can't understand why some men, like. It's just really interesting. And I'm not saying that you have to be okay with it. You don't. Right. Like, you don't have to date someone who's in the industry. If you're uncomfortable with it, that's totally your prerogative.
Right.
Like, no one's forcing you to be like, hey, you have to be with porn stars. But this weird view that they have that, well, you're just a shitty person and you're dirty and who would want you? plenty of people.
If
Relax.
my boyfriend, I know it's a double standard. I really do, because girls, we don't actually want to like look at men's penises. Like,
Yeah.
girls aren't watching porn to like look at the men.
No.
They're looking at like the other girl getting fucked. Like, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
say that they're looking at the other girl getting fucked and like just, I guess, wishing it was them. Whatever the case. is.
No, you're absolutely right about that. We only want to see dicks that are attached to people we like.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. If roles were reversed and my boyfriend came to me and said, Jen, this girl wants to see a picture of my wiener, maybe a video of me jerking off. You cool with that? I'd be like, dicks are weird looking. You do you, hun. And you're sleeping next to me every single night. Last time I checked, like, I am your girlfriend and we live together, and if some girl on the internet wants to see you jerk off, like, all power to you. That's my take. Like, good for you, man.
If it's
making
like
money for
if it's a
yourself off.
business transaction, but if you're a guy, know that it's probably mostly going to be guys requesting and or watching you jerk off. It's not going to be women. But on the off chance that it is, yeah.
But even that, if a gay guy came to my boyfriend, now I don't know because I don't know how comfortable my boyfriend would like be with that, because he's straight. And you know,
he's not having sex with them. I don't know.
You know how
just send the
guys
video.
are, like, oh, I sent a video of myself to a gay guy. You know, like, I don't know. Guys get weird about homophobic stuff like that.
Yeah, sometimes.
But
they
my
do.
thing is like, if a guy came to him when, hey, I really like you, and my boyfriend's like,
I'll give you $50 for a video of you jerking off.
oh my god,
Okay.
like, heck yeah,
Cool. do your thing.
Clearly, we all support it.
Yeah, and like I said, I understand that it's not going to be for everyone. Some people aren't cut out for that. It's not something that they're comfortable with, whatever, and that's also completely fine. But to act like they're just a shitty person and like
trash, like,
oh god,
it's just you
just shut up.
belittling people. Like, clearly you got some problems.
Yeah, clearly you have some weird hang-ups, but anyway, that's the show. This has been a really fun one. We went off on a whole tangent at the end
all
there,
the
but
time.
I love our tangents. They're so fun.
All the time.
You guys know where to follow Jenna. Keep a lookout for the foot content, but you can also obviously
Just DM
reach
me.
out,
Yes,
about
DM
feet.
me.
So Credo, I'm waiting. I can't wait to hear. I can't message me when Credo reaches out to you, because it's going to be amazing. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Xia_land. It's XIA_LAND. Watch my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/XiaLand, XiaLand. Pretty much anywhere you can find me is XiaLand. OnlyFans as well. You get the show early, plus a bunch of other good stuff. So until next time, we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming.
Bye.
Bye.